11-7 win for the Gophers yesterday. So Lauren Espelin, the DP, will lead it off with Natalie Den Hartog, the center fielder, and Chloe Evans, the right fielder, due up 1, 2, and 3. We are underway as the first pitch is over the outside edge for strike one. The rest of the lineup for the Gophers, well, first, let's take a look at this. This is what happened yesterday. Lauren Espelin, 2 bombs, a 3-run home run in the second, and then a grand slam in the third.
Talk about efficiency. 2 swings, 2 homers, 7 RBIs, and that was essentially the game right there.
And this is a look at the grand slam. It was the capstone on a 7-run third inning that ripped the game open. And
the game really turned on a double play. The game started like an extension of Friday's game, where Minnesota pitching was having trouble locating the plate. They were getting behind some batters, but a bang-bang double play, catcher to third base, turned the fortunes Minnesota's way, and the Gophers rode it the rest of the way.
Espelin, the 5th Gopher in program history to record 7 RBI in a single game. So it's Espelin, then Hartog, Evans, and then in the cleanup spot, it's Sarah Kinch, the catcher. Megan Dre, the first baseman, bats 5th. Then Sydney Strelo, the second baseman, bats 6th. In the 7-hole, it's Ellie Jensen, the left fielder. McKenna Dowell plays it short and bats 8th. Kayla Chavez makes the start at 3rd, and the freshman is rounding out the order. Well, Ashley Hitchcock in the game on Friday took her 153 pitches, but was able to do the job by herself. This is punched to the left, and right there is Peyton Linkavage for the first out.
And our first look at Natalie Den Hartog, and as we mentioned since the beginning on Friday, what a treat this is for New Jersey and Rutgers softball fans to get a look at this star 5-tool player in person, and she has not disappointed. 389 on the season, 12 homers, 23 RBIs, 9 for 9 in stolen bases, and 844 slugging percentage. Not a lot she can't do on the softball field, Dom.
She is top 10 in the Big Ten in several categories. Home runs included, 2nd in the conference. Rutgers has been able to keep her in the park today, this weekend, though. As we've talked about a bunch this weekend. Tied for the program record, 51 career home runs. But beyond that, somebody who entered this series with 8 homers in her last 10 games, I mean, she's on a tear. And even though she stayed in the park, she does have a bunch of hits this week. And she takes a strike there.
Yeah, high strike at the letters. There's no question she can do it all, and I've been impressed with her range in center field as well, defensively, this weekend for the Gophers. Man, that wind is whipping.
1-1 pitch. And stays outside. That is often where Rutgers pitchers have dealt with her this weekend. On the edge of the zone. Of course, the danger with that is you run something over the plate a little bit and you can get beat. Den Hartog yesterday was 1 for 3 with a double. And same story the day before as well. And she swings and misses at the off speed there. And it's a 2-strike count, 2-2.
Yep. Hitchcock changed the angle and also the speed there and had Den Hartog way out in front of that one. Let's see what she comes up with here on a 2-2 pitch.
Hitchcock deals. And just missed off the plate. I was looking for a called strike 3.
Yeah, Hitchcock won on that one. She thought she got the black. Close pitch to take now, full count.
So here's the full count pitch. And it's fouled straight back. Well, for Minnesota, the win yesterday was its first Big Ten win of the season. Just the opening weekend in the conference. Some series are already done. Maryland swept 3 games from Penn State. Nebraska took 2 from Michigan. Been an interesting first weekend across the conference. As that one is on the outside corner, and Ashley Hitchcock, loving it, paints the corner for her first K.
Yeah, she just froze to Hartog with that pitch. I don't know what exactly the Hartog was looking for, but a fast strike 3 and a big confidence boost for Hitchcock early.
Good spot for it.
Yep. Here's Chloe Evans stepping up, 342, 6 homers, 27 RBIs, the right fielder.
And there's strike one. Now, Evans yesterday contributed to the home run parade. Had one of the 3 home runs for Minnesota. And they were all bunched into those second and third innings where Minnesota struck for 11 unanswered runs. It was interesting, though. Rutgers was able to score 6 runs over the last couple of innings to sort of extend the game. At one point, truly extend the game. They were down to their last strike in the 5th inning before Kobe Hura hit a home run to keep things going.
Rutgers showed a resiliency. I'm not sure Kristen Butler's team would have shown last year. Last year's team might have put its head down a little bit, but not the case yesterday.
And Ashley Hitchcock picks up a couple of strikeouts. It's a 1-2-3 top of the first for the Rutgers right-hander. So we go bottom 1. The Scarlet Knights are coming to the plate when we come back on Big Ten Plus. We expect to see a bounce back from the senior today.
Well, no question. She's got great stuff. She had no command at all Friday. She was behind everybody. Minnesota pitchers issued 11 walks that day. Rutgers with 9 runs on just 5 base hits, largely because of those base on balls. He's got to start with strike 1 today, and a good start right there for her on the opening pitch of the game.
Facing Kylie Sand, Rutgers leadoff hitter. And quickly, Pease gets ahead, 0-2.
I don't think she had no 2 count in the entire couple inning outing on Friday night. I mean, she was on her heels. It was like she was on roller skates. That whole Minnesota team seemed to be a little out of sorts following their 10-day layoff, I thought, but then found their range yesterday.
2-strike pitch, and that missed away. A look at the Rutgers lineup. After Kylie Sand, the shortstop, it's the third baseman, Peyton Linkavich, and then the left fielder, Gabrielle Calloway. Katie Wingert, the catcher, bats cleanup. Then Taylor Fawcett, the center fielder, is in the 5-hole. Kayla Bach, the DP, bats 6th. This will be a 1-2 to Sand, and she fouls it off. Kirsten Stanley, the first baseman, is in the 7-hole. Then the right fielder, Kobe Hura, fresh off that first career home run yesterday, earns the start. She's in right. And Taylor Lane, the second baseman, is in the 9-hole. Kylie Sand riding a 7-game hitting streak and a 14-game on-base streak. That's the same story for Calloway, who's in the 3 spot in the order. The pitch. It's smacked right back up the middle, base hit. Well, the reason why you get on streaks like that is because you're hitting the ball really, really well, and that has been the case for Kylie Sand in these first 2 weekends at Rutgers. Cabbage. Linkavich takes upstairs for ball 1.
I just feel like, Dom, that you see a 9-2, not quite a laugher, but 9-2 margin game 1, 11-7 yesterday, a lot of hits. I just feel like this is going to be a knockdown 2-1, 3-2 kind of game. I don't know why. I just have that feeling it's going to be an efficiently, quickly moving game.
Well, we've talked about how Pease struggled on Friday uncharacteristically. She was only able to record 5 outs, walked 7 hitters, gave up just 1 hit, and ended up conceding 4 runs. But to this point, through a couple of pitches, looks much better. Linkavich bunting here and pushes it right back to the pitcher. Rutgers working the sacrifice there as Sand gets the second.
Yeah, I think Kristen Butler thinking a little bit like we are, station to station base softball. And runs maybe can be at a premium today. Excellent sacrifice bunt that time by Linkavich. And here's the heart of the order.
I told you about the streaks that Calloway is on. Perhaps the most remarkable is a 9-game RBI streak that has seen her drive in 20 runs over the last 9 games.
That is impressive. And on the year, far and away the Scarlet Knight leader with 35 RBIs. The next leading RBI person is the leadoff hitter, Sand, who has 19.
Pitch from Pease, and this one's walloped to left field, but a lunging try. Jensen can't play it. Sand had to hold. She'll come around to score. It may be an error. Ellie Jensen gave it a great try in left, but Gabby Calloway knocks in a run, and Rutgers is in front again, 1-0.
Would be unfortunate if the scorer gives that an error. I mean, she covered a lot of ground.
And it will be a double for Gabby Calloway. So give her 36 RBI on the year. I mean, that is the kind of productivity. 10 straight games with a run driven in. That's productivity that most hitters never see. And now Katie Wingert. She fouls it back quickly behind 0-2.
Like the swings Rutgers is getting early. They seem to be timing Pease very well. And, Sand had the sharp single to center, the blast to left field we just saw, and that swing right there. No fear of the Rutgers hitters. They look pretty comfortable in there.
Pease looking for the bounce back. And missed outside with a breaking ball.
Yeah, off-speed pitch there.
Pease is known for a devastating change. That's something that has marked her 4-year career. This is somebody who started her career at Idaho State back in 2019, was the conference rookie of the year in the Big Sky. And there it is, off speed for strike 3.
Great pitch. She does what a lot of great pitchers do. She disguises the change very well. I mean, it's a little deceptive in her motion. It looks like she's coming with a high heat, and she just drops it in there.
Do you think about where you want to put a changeup if you're not going to throw it for a strike? Try to get a swing and miss. A little low and off the plate, a little life off the plate. That's it. Here's Taylor Fawcett as she socks this one foul. Now Fawcett was part of that late Rutgers rally yesterday. We talked about the home run from Kobe Hura. Taylor Fawcett also came through with a 2-run home run yesterday. Well, this is what Espelin did. But in the 7th inning, Fawcett came through with a 2-run home run that made it even more interesting because it went from a 10-run deficit to Rutgers having the chance to get within, to tie the game on a swing.
Yeah, got 11-7. It was Rutgers was definitely in touch after the Hur home run, and again, good resiliency, good sign long term for Kristen Butler and the Scarlet Knights. That comeback yesterday.
And she fouls another one off. That home run, the second of the junior Fawcett season. Former top 10 recruit. One of the early ones for Kristen Butler.
293 on the season, has 18 RBIs as well.
The pitch is fouled off once again.
You hear that wind whipping. I don't know why. I don't want to harp on it too much, but I just feel like runs are going to be at a premium this morning.
Now there's the home run from Fawcett, and remarkable on a day where we saw 5 home runs. I think that was the hardest hit of them all. It certainly traveled the farthest.
There's no question. When here at the softball complex, when you see the ball land, in that near that R in the on the hill in left field, you know it's a shot. That ball was tattooed.
Two and two count here for Fawcett with Gabby Calloway at second after her RBI double. And Fawcett came up the ladder and fouled it off.
Yeah, chase that one. That pitch was out of the zone, but you can almost see like her eyes widening on that one as she tried to square that one up. Pease might have gotten away with one there.
Another 2-2. Swing and a miss. Went to the heat that time, and Autumn Pease picks up a couple of strikeouts to get out of further issues in the bottom of the first. Hitchcock, the junior, in what is her first full season. 2020 cut short by COVID. Last year, all Big Ten. She has really found a groove. Sarah Kinch leading it off, and she takes ball one.
Kinch batting .220 on the year with 2 homers and 12 RBIs. In the cleanup spot for the Gophers.
That's fouled back. Oh, you take a look at the recent stuff for Ashley Hitchcock. This is the second straight weekend Rutgers is playing at home. They hosted a tournament last weekend. You've got 26 innings of work now for Hitchcock. She's given up 4 earned runs across those 26 innings. Now, I'm not good at math, but that's a low ERA.
That's darn good. And for the year, batters hitting just a lowly 228 average against her.
And not only the 4 earned runs in the now 26 innings of work, but we're talking about less than a base runner per inning. So the whip is below 1. And Hitchcock, again, in a good count, and misses low this time, 2-2.
Yeah, with Hitchcock and Jaden Vickers, a real good 1-2 punch. You know, Vickers comes from the left side, also throws heat. And then yesterday, Kristen Butler may have discovered a third pitcher in freshman Georgia Engel, who was impressive in that relief stint yesterday. A big confidence boost for her. Rutgers might have found something there.
Pitch. On the outside corner again. Well, if Ashley Hitchcock can live there, she'll be quite all right with it. She's found a couple of strikeouts in that spot of the zone so far today.
Yeah, she's pitching with a lot of confidence this morning. You can tell she's got a little bounce in her step, and when she's painting the corners like that, she's awfully tough to hit.
Oh, we have seen the mite in the middle of Minnesota's order this weekend, but the first pass through has been a good one for Hitchcock as she starts off Megan Dre with a strike.
Yeah, the first 6 batters in their order, Minnesota, they all have 3 or more home runs, led by Den Hartog's 12. So there's power throughout that lineup. It's not like it's a feast or famine. It's all the top of the order. There's some good balance in that lineup for Minnesota.
And that one missed the zone a little bit. It's a ball and a strike.
I think Hitchcock wanted that one.
But it is worth revisiting something you just mentioned, John. What we saw from Georgia Engel yesterday. Jaden Vickers made the start for Rutgers. She struggled, gave up all of the scoring that Minnesota had. Engel came in for her first Big Ten outing, tossed 4 2/3 scoreless. I mean, Rutgers has not used her a ton this year because they haven't had to. And against her first Big Ten team, she looked really good.
Yeah, I mean, a hidden positive perhaps in a loss. I mean, obviously the objective each time is to win the game. But you can build on things even within a loss. I thought the resiliency, the offensive comeback by the Scarlet Knights, and the pitching of Engel were certainly some positives for Rutgers yesterday.
1-2. It's fouled off. Now, even beyond what we saw from Engel, the fact that the freshman was able to give you the final 4 2/3 innings meant that Hitchcock was able to take the day off. Now, she did warm up. She got ready to come into the game, possibly, but there's a big difference between having to toss some warm-up pitches in the pen and having to come into the game and give you a couple of innings in a game where Rutgers struggled to get back in it.
Yeah, it's not the same intensity. It's just not the same adrenaline rush. It's not as taxing mentally, not as taxing physically to be warming up the bullpen versus live game action. Just can't quite simulate it. So I think you're right. I think that's a positive that could extend today for Rutgers.
Now, worth mentioning, the same is true, too, for Minnesota, with Emily Levitt getting the start yesterday and going 6 strong for the win. 2-2 from Hitchcock. And Megan Dre has been on a couple, but fouling them off.
Megan Dre, the lone Virginian on this Minnesota roster. We mentioned yesterday both these teams, but really Minnesota goes a little bit more national than Rutgers. Rutgers more New Jersey prominent, but 9 different states represented on the Minnesota roster.
Hitchcock trying to go back to that outside corner, but Dre, the 5th-year senior, not fooled. As somebody who started her college career down near her home state, went to the University of North Carolina for 3 years, and now in her 2nd year at Minnesota. Here comes the payoff pitch. And it's as blasted to left. Callaway gives it a try, but it is gone. Megan Dre got every piece of that. Tie ball game in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, she lifted that one up into the jet stream, and that's exactly where the wind is going. Not sure it needed much aid from the wind, though. Good swing. You could see she was, like you mentioned, she was on some of those prior pitches. She was timing it. Looked pretty loose and confident throughout that at-bat.
The Golden Gophers break out. The home run sticks once again. 3 dingers yesterday, and Megan Dre getting right back in the act. Another look at it. That's barrel. Caught a little bit too much of the plate, too.
And the second baseman, Sydney Strela, now stepping in. 224, 4 homers, 10 RBI. So, you know, this power extends, like we said, throughout the Gopher lineup. This is the 6th batter in the order, and she has 4 home runs to her credit.
By the way, for Dre, that's her 5th home run of the season.
So we'll see if Hitchcock can settle down here and respond after giving up that towering home run to left center.
She's ahead 0-2 and runs inside and plunks Strelo.
You don't want to do on a 0-2 pitch. I know the thought process there, she's trying to come inside, but obviously way too much inside. Now really Hitchcock goes for a little walk behind the circle, tries to gather herself following the home run, and now the plunked batter.
And a pinch hitter here for Minnesota, so we won't see Ellie Jensen. It'll be Emily Hansen who hits here for the Gophers. Now, I wonder if this is a pinch hitting spot with a runner on base, or if this has something to do with Jensen's dive in left field in that last half inning on Callaway's double. We'll find out in the bottom of the inning.
Yeah, Hansen seldom used. She is batting .348. But has only seen action in 12 games with 9 starts, 8 hits and 23 plate appearances thus far for the Golden Gophers. That is interesting, a second inning pinch hitter. We'll look on that.
Pitch. That's 1-1. We've seen Hansen, I should say, pinch hit in each of the 2 games. And she's gone 0 for 2 with a strikeout. We'll have to look and see who's playing in left field when we get to the bottom of the second inning. As Hitchcock misses again, 2-1.
Yeah, good pitch there. That was close. This is a big batter for Hitchcock. Big boost for her confidence if she can get out of this inning with a 1-1 tie.
It was 4 straight outs to start the game for Hitchcock, including 3 consecutive Ks before the home run. And now she's fallen behind 3 balls and a strike. The pitch, swing and a miss, and she fights back for the payoff.
Huge pitch here. 3-2 count. 1 out here in the top of the second. 1-1 game.
What does Hitchcock do here? Missed, a little high, a little off the plate. So it's home run, hit by pitch, and now a walk. And there's 2 on for Minnesota, and the super senior McKenna Dowell coming to the plate.
Yep. Dowell, the Auburn transfer, shortstop. Dangerous, even in the 8th spot, batting .250. She brings that SEC experience to the Big Ten. Been around the game a long time.
And she swings and misses at strike 1. Fastball at the letters. Dowell we saw in Friday's game bat in the cleanup spot. She's gone 1 for 8 on the weekend. Did score a couple of runs yesterday and pick up that lone hit, a single. And swings and misses again.
Good cut at that one.
So 2 big swings at elevated fastballs. And how does Hitchcock navigate her path now? Does she go back to that, or does she try to go some off speed?
Yeah, I'm thinking off speed here. Nope.
I tried the fastball, but it missed away.
That's why I'm up here freezing in the broadcast location, not making the decisions.
1-2. And it's nubbed to the left side. Linkavage looks at second, and the only play is to first. But it's a productive out for Dowell because now the Gophers have 2 runs in scoring position. Now, for all intents and purposes, it's a sac bunt.
It had the same net result, and here's the 9th hitter, Kayla Chavez, 269, 1 homer, 7 RBIs, big spot for her. With 2 runners in scoring position here in the top of the second.
So it's Strelo at third, Hansen stands at second, and Chavez, who was quite productive yesterday. A freshman came through with back-to-back run-scoring singles in those 2 big Gopher innings in the second and the third. And she'll look for another one of those right here with a chance to give Minnesota its first lead of the day. Pops it up. Will it be playable? It would have been, but Wingard couldn't find it.
I had trouble locating that one straight over her head. Well, a lot of backspin. Would have taken a great jump out of that her catcher stance to make that play.
It didn't hang in the air. Let's take a second look here. It's so tough as a catcher. We're ripping the mask off. You're trying to find your bearings too. It is a 2-strike pitch as Hitchcock misses upstairs.
Just that little bit of hesitation there. Tough chance for the catcher.
Hitchcock looking for another strikeout. 2-2.
The wind direction has been exactly the same all 3 games. Blowing out to left field. How big do you think these gusts are? 20, 23 miles an hour?
Easily.
20 to 30, yeah.
And it's hit well, but it's curling foul.
Yeah, this game moved up. Originally a 1 o'clock start. Minnesota's got a flight. They've got a hard time. They got hit Newark Airport to get out of here.
Unenviable for folks who have been there before.
Yes.
Now they want to go home with a series win. This the rubber game. Another 2-2. This will be a payoff pitch.
This is one of the bigger distance gaps. You would think Bloomington, Minnesota to Piscataway, New Jersey, among the handful of, I think Nebraska to Rutgers is the absolute furthest. But Minnesota, it's a good long ways away.
Now first base is open, but Lauren Espelin waits on deck. What does Hitchcock do? Oh, Chavez fouls it off again. Espelin lined out to third her first time, but had the 2 home runs yesterday, and you don't want to bring her up with another opportunity to clear the bases.
No, Hitchcock wants to get rid of the 9th batter, Chavez here, no question. You do not want to see the lefty swinging Espelin in an RBI chance. Big spot here for the pitcher, junior Ashley Hitchcock.
Chavez has fouled a few off. It'll be another 3-2. And it misses low. 2 walks plus a hit by pitch in the inning, and the bases are loaded as Lauren Espelin looks for deja vu.
Yeah, bases were loaded yesterday. She teed one off yesterday for the grand slam. You know that's going through the mind of Hitchcock. Hitchcock was really bearing down, wanting to get rid of Chavez, and now she's got to really has her hands full here with the dangerous hitting leadoff hitter and the bases loaded.
Now first pitch, slow and away.
Nowhere to put her. Here comes a mound visit.
It was 4 straight outs for Ashley Hitchcock to start the game, but 4 of the last 5 hitters have gotten on, and Bryn Dordell wanting to work her junior pitcher through this, and it's a very quick chat too.
Big spot in the game, obviously. 1-1 game, top of the second. Bases loaded, 2 outs. And a player at the plate who yesterday delivered a grand slam in addition to a 3-run shot. So Rutgers Nation on its heels right here.
Now the 1-ball pitch. That missed. It gets away. Here comes Strelo to the plate. Minnesota takes the lead. Off the top of Wingert's mitt. And Minnesota doesn't need a hit to take the advantage.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I guess it's a pass ball. I mean, it was a high up the ladder. She had to go get it, but I think that's on the catcher. In any event, it results in a run. Here's the replay. Looks like she might have gotten crossed up on that one.
And then Espelin fouls it off. So everybody moves up there. Hansen and Chavez paying attention, so they're at second and third.
I think Wingert was expecting something else there. She did not react well at all to that fast, high pitch.
And it is a pass ball charged against Wingert, her second of the year. And that missed. So now first base is open again, but you've got Natalie Den Hartog, who's been even more dangerous this year, waiting on deck.
Yeah. First base is open, but for the wrong reason. Right, moved up a station.
So what does Hitchcock do here on 3-1? As she missed inside. Well, Hitchcock was expertly controlling the ball over the first inning or so, but here she has struggled with 3 walks.
Now she's got a 2-time All Big Ten, 2020 All-American at the plate, 389 hitter, 12 homers, team leading 23 RBIs, and an 844 slugging percentage.
That was a close one. That was ball 4. A pitch to Den Hartog, top of the zone, strike 1. And then Hartog clearly came up with the intent of taking a rip.
She wasn't holding back at all that first pitch.
So Hansen at third, Chavez at second, Espelin stands at first. 1-1.
The nation's best here at the plate. A true 5-tool player. You hear that cliche, not really cliche, but you hear that description thrown around, but it really, really applies to Natalie Den Hartog.
1-1. It's sent right side of the diamond. Playable there for Taylor Lane, and Ashley Hitchcock ends the inning. But Minnesota grabs the lead right back as the Gophers scored 2 runs on just 1 hit, 3 walks. Now that was the hit. Megan Dre launching one to left. The Gophers with a 2-run second for the 2-1 lead.
Yeah, Hitchcock really labored there in the second. And all things considered, 2-1, not a bad spot for Rutgers to be.
Now it's punched over to the right side. 1 pitch in, 1 out for Autumn Pease as Kayla Bach grounds out.
First baseman number 23.
That easily could have been a 4 or 5 run spot there with just a 2-1 deficit.
By the way, some defensive changes here for Minnesota as Kirsten with Stanley takes high. So we saw Hansen come in there in the last half inning to bat for Ellie Jensen. Now, Emily Hansen enters the game. She's going to stay in the game as the DP. Chloe Evans goes from right to left, and Espelin is playing in the field for the first time this weekend. She's in right field. And so I don't have this officially, but I feel like it's a safe guess that this has to do with what happened to Jensen there in the bottom of the first inning.
Yeah, Jensen covered a lot of ground on that slicing ball off the left-handed bat, and who knows, elbow, shoulder. When she lost possession of the ball, maybe she got herself injured.
Ground out by with Stanley as Dowell gobbles it up. So there are 2 away. Now, if we get something official, we'll let you know. And she takes strike 1. Now, Kobe Hura came in a pinch hitting spot yesterday, and she delivered. Rutgers down to its final strike in the 5th inning, and what a time for your first home run of your career.
It earns her a spot in the Sunday lineup. She now has a homer, 5 RBIs on the year, 205 hitter.
And she makes it a ball and strike.
And Coach Butler rewarding her. See if the hot hand at the plate can continue today.
1-1. Breaking ball for a strike. Good changeup there by Pease.
Yeah, that was impressive. That was an all-world changeup there. Absolutely froze her at the plate.
Pease looking for a 1-2-3. Her pitch. Missed outside.
I like the way Pease changes locations, changes speed, changes arm angle. She's got the whole repertoire. It wasn't her on Friday night. That was not the Autumn Pease that Minnesota has come to know.
And Hura just tips it foul. You could see her want to pull the bat back as she was swinging and just made enough contact.
Anytime you see a batter indecisive like that, you know the pitcher has the upper hand. The pitcher's in the head of the batter. Doesn't know whether you got a slow breaking ball coming or high heat. Totally guessing.
Pease pitch. I'll try it again.
Her was on that one. Tried to square it up. She just missed that one.
Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for Autumn Pease. It's her 3rd of the day. And she bounces back with a nice 1-2-3 second inning. Golden Gophers looking to head back home with a series victory, looking for their 2nd Big Ten win. And Autumn Pease looking back in all Big Ten form here. Last year finished as the 2nd best team in the Big Ten, a 29-11 record in that all Big Ten season. Lost on Friday, bounced back yesterday, and looking for another win here. As Chloe Evans starts it off for Minnesota with Sarah Kinch and Megan Dre due up after her.
The dangerous Chloe Evans. Good looking lefty swinger, 342 batting average, 6 homers, 27 RBIs. Hitchcock definitely wants to get rid of her. The next 6 batters all bat under 300 in the lineup. So you want to take care of, you always want to get rid of the top, the first batter obviously in the inning, but especially when you've got a dangerous 342 hitter to lead off.
Evans the home run yesterday. All told, it's a 6-game hitting streak. And she's behind a ball and 2 strikes. It is worth mentioning, too, you touched on the idea of starting an inning well. Entering this weekend, Minnesota as a team was hitting .402 leading off an inning. .402, which was more than 100 points better than their overall team batting average.
That really puts pressure on a defense.
As this one socked to right, but it is playable for Kobe Hura. And there's one away.
And then we'll bring up the catcher, Sarah Kinch. She's a 230 batter, 2 homers, 12 RBIs. So good job by Hitchcock getting that difficult first out of the way here in inning number 3.
And interestingly, Hitchcock has gotten all 3 leadoff hitters so far. That was a long second inning for Hitchcock.
Yeah, she's hoping for something like a 7 or a 9 pitch inning, get out of here in order, settle herself down. Really the first adversity she's faced in the game, and did well to get out of it, like we said, with just 2 runs.
She threw 36 pitches, and a lot of that was because of the 3 walks, because they were not 4 pitch walks. They were long at-bats with the Gophers fouling pitches off. She's fallen behind 2-0. As Kinch drives it left field, Callaway will give it a try, and she can't get there. It's just enough for Sarah Kinch.
Wow.
Another Minnesota home run. The Gophers lead by 2.
Now that one was wind-aided. I mean, that was wasn't a pop fly, but it just kept carrying and carrying in the wind. And the Gophers move out in front 3-1.
First baseman number 20, Megan Trey.
Now that was a fly ball home run.
Yeah,
The launch angle on this is massive.
towering. Thought she caught it for a moment.
Hiding right behind the stanchion. That did go out, though. And now Megan Dre, who had the home run in the last inning.
Well, if you're going to hit one up in the air, that's where you want to do it, right down that 190-foot line down the third base line, because that is where our wind is blowing.
So Sarah Kinch clobbers her 3rd home run of the season. As that's bent foul.
Good swing there. Dre was on that one. She was ready for that pitch. Looking to duplicate Kinch's heroics.
Now that is Jaden Vickers, Hitchcock's classmate, the lefty. Vickers got the start yesterday, struggled, gave up all 11 runs, but was removed after 2 1/3 innings. As this one's lined to center field, it's a base hit. A nice day for Megan Dre. She is 2 for 2. And this inning sort of following the path that Minnesota took in the 2nd inning with an out, a home run, and now a runner on base. But just to get back to that point about Vickers, she struggled yesterday, plainly. But she only tossed 62 pitches, and this is somebody who, before yesterday, had the best numbers on the staff. And so you know for sure that Vickers is available today. And now this is Kristen Butler, the Rutgers head coach. She was coming out to chat one-on-one with Hitchcock. So Dre is at first, and here is Sydney Strelo. Now Strelo hit by a pitch and scored a run back in the 2nd inning. As Ashley Hitchcock, who has battled, and it feels like every inning with Minnesota, worked out of a bunch of jams on Friday and battling once again here in the 3rd inning today. And gets a swing and a miss there, a little off speed.
Yeah, things haven't come easily for Hitchcock. It's interesting because she's done such a great job of getting the first out of the inning. You know, what's a pitcher's best friend? Strike one and out one. And she's taking care of that, and then she's fallen into trouble. It hasn't been like a cascading thing. She's been getting the first out of the inning and then falling into trouble.
Popped up by Strelo as Linkavage gives it a chase, but it's out of play. Now, the thing that Hitchcock is looking for is the put away. This one's looped to left center field. Oh, it's not just looped, it's gone. It carried and carried and carried, and now 3 home runs for the Golden Gophers. Sydney Strelo comes through. Minnesota by 4.
She just went downstairs and got that one and golfed it over the left center field wall. Well hit ball. And here comes the pitching change that we spoke of a moment ago.
You got a second look at it. Strelo had to go down and get it. The Gophers with 3 home runs in an inning plus, and a new pitcher in the circle for Rutgers when we come back. After a diving try in left field. And this one smacked off of Sand's mitt. The shortstop has the hops. You saw it there. Just could not take it in. And now it's 4 consecutive on base for Minnesota. Home run, single, home run, and another single. And truly remarkable, John, and you can see the impact that the home run ball has for this team. Rutgers kept the Gophers in the yard on Friday, held them 2 runs. Minnesota now, over the last, 10 innings, has 6 home runs.
They look really comfortable at the plate. They're not guessing. They're very decisive in the decision making on what pitches to let go and what to swing at. It's been an impressive arsenal to look at over the last 2 days. This Minnesota offense.
There's McKenna Dowell, who grounded it out her first time. The pitch. It's driven to left. Callaway to the line. Crossing into foul ground makes the play.
Where a wind carried that one a long ways. Not just in depth, but right to left. I mean, you saw how far Callaway had to go to her right, all the way into foul territory, ranging to make that play.
You know, it's funny. I know we've harped on it a ton this weekend, and if you're not watching from New Jersey, you may say, why are they talking about the wind so much? But the way it is today, every time the ball is put in the air beyond third base, it makes you hold your breath for a second because you wonder if it hangs long enough, a home run like the one that Sarah Kinch hit, if you get it high enough, just let the wind do the rest.
Yeah,
routine pop flies, routine flyouts become home runs on days like today for both teams. Here's Kayla Chavez, and she fouls it away. Oh, talking about Vickers yesterday, the struggles that she had were surprising, not just because of her body of work this year, but also because she started the game fairly well. She struck out 3 of the first 5 hitters she faced. Now she gets that one on a hop from Chavez, comes in and was able to end the 3rd inning. Taylor Lane getting her first look at autumn peas on this Sunday morning, turned afternoon here in Jersey. And then Kylie Sand and Peyton Linkavage due up after her.
Head coach Kristen Butler looking for that resiliency that we saw yesterday when Rutgers got down a lot, and then managed to cut yesterday's deficit to 11-7.
That's chopped over to third, and Chavez plays it for out number 1. Again, you look back at what yesterday's game ended up at, 11-7, and they note the fight that Rutgers had. I'm not sure that last year Rutgers would have been able to do that. But it's something that, just talking with Kristen Butler, she said she's seen and she's encouraged with this team this year, much of which has the same players from last year. Sand's coming in as a transfer, but I think back to a couple of weeks ago, Rutgers played a series down in Arizona. 2 of those games were against New Mexico State, who was one of the top scoring teams in the country. They averaged 5.5 runs a game. But their pitching struggles, and Kristen Butler had a message for her team as Sand lines this into left field. She's going to try for 2. Turns the slide. She's in there.
Wow, aggressive. Down 4 runs. Was surprised that Sand was that aggressive there, but with that speed, able to get into second. So Rutgers has something going with a run. It was anxious that Sand rounded first.
Here's Linkavage. To get back to that point about the games against New Mexico State, Kristen Butler said that before those games she told her team, look, this team scores a lot, talking about New Mexico State. You can't be afraid, you can't back down if they score a few runs because you have to trust in your ability to battle back, to put up the big inning too. And even talking to some of the leaders like Gabby Callaway, after Friday's game, she had the grand slam in that for Rutgers. She said the team is pressing less this year because there is trust across the board that if you don't get the big hit, somebody else can do it instead. A trust that maybe wasn't there as much last year.
No, excellent points, and what it does is it lessens the load on each batter. Each person doesn't feel like it's on her shoulders to make it happen in that moment. I mean, you always want to be aggressive, but you want to stay within yourself and know that the people behind you have your back, and they're gonna come through as well.
1-2, and Linkavich lays off. Callaway said Rutgers is pressing less. She said certainly she feels that she is pressing less this year. Now Rutgers will have that medal tested once again today. As Linkavich ropes this to right center, Espelin over, snow cones it, and grabs it. And Sand able to go to third. Did she leave early? Sand left as Espelin was bobbling it. I very nearly dropped in for a hit, for an error.
That's interesting. I don't know exactly how that is interpreted, but in any event, Rutgers gets away with it. They have a base runner on third with 2 outs.
No indication Minnesota won't challenge. Here's Gabby Callaway, who has been the RBI queen for Rutgers, in another RBI spot.
That's the first ball we've really seen hit out to right field, and you can see it kind of hit a wall of wind, and it crossed up the outfield just for a moment.
1-0. Oh, the one thing that Sand getting to second on what could have been just a single, what that does is she's in scoring position with Callaway at the plate.
Right, because if she doesn't stretch that to a double, she's sitting on first base right now. Because with that play right in front of her in right field, she's not even going to get to second. So it's the difference of 2 bases really, being on first base with 2 outs versus being on third base where a pass ball or a wild pitch you got to run.
Pease deals. 3-1.
Been impressed with Pease's command today. Shows what a quality veteran pitcher she is, that she didn't let Friday's outing affect her. Came out throwing strikes from the get-go.
Pitch. That's way outside. Pease didn't have to give in to Callaway there, and she doesn't. So it's first and third, but there are 2 outs, and here's Katie Wingert. Big spot for Wingert. Squaring to bunt. Takes it, and now the throw to second. Dowell, Sand coming home. She scored. Callaway gets tagged out, but Rutgers will take the run.
Stole a run, really, in effect.
So Minnesota ends the inning. Rutgers trying with Callaway to see if they can just take second. Minnesota ends the inning, but Rutgers very clearly happy to grab one back. Sort of replicate what Georgia Engel did yesterday. Come in the exact same spot, 7 outs into the game, and try to post some zeros.
As Minnesota leads off the 4th inning with its leadoff hitter, the dangerous Lauren Espelin.
Espelin drew a bases-loaded walk her last time. It's a 2-0 count.
Yeah, we'll see if Vickers can restore some water here. Rutgers really hasn't had a clean, quick inning in the field yet, right? I mean, every
aside from the first,
except for the first inning, every inning has involved some drama, a base runner, a lot of pitches.
3-0 count. Yeah, Hitchcock retired the first 4 hitters she faced, and then the next hitter, Megan Dre, went yard. And that sort of started all of the scoring and all the home run hitting for the Gophers. And Vickers misses upstairs. So it's a 4-pitch walk to Lauren Espelin, who's aboard for the 2nd time today.
That's not the way, obviously, you want to start an inning with the All-American Natalie Den Hartog settling in here. Got to keep your focus and somewhere along the way find strike 1.
It'll be the first time that Vickers faces Den Hartog today as she swings and misses.
Good matchup here. Speedy pitcher with a free swinger at the plate. I like this matchup.
Den Hartog has struck out and also flew out to second base. It's a 1-1 count.
I mean, there's no bunt here. I mean, you're not going to take the bat out of Den Hartog's hand here, or she's going to be ripping away here. Trying to get the ball upstairs, up in that jet stream out towards left field.
The pitch. Swung on, blasted, center field, Fawcett to the wall, leaps, it's gone! And Minnesota softball has a new home run queen. Natalie Den Hartog goes yard for the 52nd time in her career, and she is now Minnesota's all-time home run leader.
53 for her career, 13 for the season, now has 25 RBIs, and just like that, the Golden Gophers extend their lead to 7-2.
It is difficult to keep Natalie Den Hartog in the yard for an entire series. Rutgers had been able to until that point. And even with the windy conditions, that was a home run.
There's no doubt about it. I talked about the jet stream to left. That was just slightly left of dead center. But there's not a stadium in America. I don't think that would have contained that one. That was a rocket.
So the All-American who grew up about a half an hour away from Minnesota's campus is now the program's all-time leader.
Congratulations to her. What a good-looking young player. I mean, she really has all the tools that you look for in a center fielder. She's got an impressive-looking prospect.
Here's Chloe Evans, who's got home run pop herself. It's a 1-2 count. Den Hartog, somebody who grew up in the Minneapolis suburbs, born and raised in Hopkins, Minnesota, about a half an hour west. First team all-state softball player there at Hopkins High School. And made the short little trek over to play for the Golden Gophers, and she has now etched her name at the top of the list in the record books.
And a great job by the Minnesota coaching staff to retain one of their own. That's always such a big point here in New Jersey. Very parochial state, a much smaller state in geography, but you want to protect your own. You know, you got a gem right down the street to keep her home playing for State U. That's an impressive recruiting victory for Minnesota and paying big dividends over a 4-year career.
It is a historic home run, but in the context of the game too, John, the job that Den Hartog has done, it's Minnesota's 4th home run of the day as Evans goes down swinging, and it also extends the game out of the reach of one swing now. It gives Minnesota the 5-run lead.
Right, and now the pressure switches obviously back to Rutgers. We talk about that resiliency again. Will we see that backbone that Rutgers exhibited yesterday, now trailing by a pretty significant 7-2 margin?
Here's Sarah Kinch, who loops it over to first, and a catch is made by Kirsten Stanley for the second out of the inning.
Now we'll bring up Megan Dre with 227 batter, 4 homers, 7 RBIs. Dre out of Lynchburg, Virginia.
And Dre 2 for 2, halfway to the cycle right now with a home run and the single.
Triple's always the toughest one, right?
I would say so.
You want to get that triple done first. You get the triple out of the way first. Now you can start talking cycle.
Strike one pitch. That's on the edge of the zone, 0-2.
Good pitch there from Vickers.
And now we'll get a quick chat as Dre walks down the third baseline to talk things over with Carly Wynn, the Minnesota associate head coach.
Been impressed with this Minnesota outfit. I mean, they're a perennial contending Big Ten program. They've been to the College World Series in the last couple of years, and obviously coming off the 10-day layoff, things look bleak after the 9-2 loss on Friday. But they've impressed the last two games.
0-2. Vickers misses upstairs. We'll see if the scouting report there that Wynn gave to Dre works out. And Minnesota has been one of those class of the conference programs in the last several years.
And they take on all comers. I mean, they're just over 500, but that's largely a product of the very intense out-of-conference schedule they play.
Now swing and a miss. Vickers gets the K of Megan Dre and ends the top of the fourth. Plenty of run support for Autumn Pease as she goes back to the circle. And Katie Wingert, who was at the plate to end the third inning, is back there. Because the last time Rutgers was up, they had Sand at third, Callaway at first. Tried the double steal and got the run to score, but Callaway was tagged out too. So it'll be Wingert, Fawcett, and Bach as Rutgers now trails by 5.
Yeah, Rutgers, in essence, stole a run, then gave 2 back in the top half of this inning. So in a similar position to yesterday, having to battle back. And again, can't do it all at once. It's a cliche, but one pitch at a time, one at bat at a time, and try to get some base runners and mount some offense here.
And Wingert fouls it back, 1-2. Well, you can see the impact that the long ball has. You think back to Friday, Gabby Callaway jacks the grand slam, blows the game open, Rutgers wins. Yesterday, the story was Lauren Espelin's 2 home runs, including the grand slam. And now today, 4 more dingers for the Gophers.
That was some display by Espelin, 7 RBIs. 2 swings. You walk up with 2 home runs and 7 RBIs.
And today it's been balanced. 4 home runs from 4 different Gophers. Pease 2-2. It's tap foul.
Good bounce back outing so far to this point for Pease. Putting Friday's control problems behind her. She's been ahead of a lot of batters today.
And the righty deals. And Wingert lays off the changeup there.
They try to get Wingert to bite at that low outside changeup. Good discipline by Wingert.
Rutgers looking for base runners. Full count pitch. This one's lifted down the line. Evans cutting over and makes the catch.
Even that one I waited on for a second.
Yeah.
I said, I mean, by the sound of it, it sounded like it wasn't quite on the meaty part of the bat. But I tell you what, with that win, you just don't know.
Maybe different for folks around the Big Ten. But you say, no, this is not the way her season is going to go. With the track record that she has compiled over her first 3 years. And even this year, I mean, even though the numbers have not been as good for Autumn Pease as they were last year with that 1.75 ERA, I mean, there's been some great outings. Led off the year, first outing of the year, 7 strikeouts, 1 run over 6 innings in a win at UCF. A couple of weeks ago, 6 scoreless in a game against Drake. Just 2 hits allowed in a run rule victory. And the changeup is working today. She spotted pitches much better today. Been able to live in the zone much more frequently compared to that outing on Friday with all the walks. And she gets another swing and a miss. Breaking ball is really working for Autumn Pease. 4 strikeouts.
Yeah, she just couldn't find her release point on Friday. It looked like it where she wanted tonight. Today she's been right on point.
And Kayla Bach takes for ball 1. Another look at the strikeout. I mean, that's nasty stuff with the changeup.
Again, she gives you that big motion, that same motion as she does with a fastball. That's what makes it so deceptive. She really sells it.
Bach loops this into center. It's down for a base hit. Okay, Kayla Bach comes through for a 2-out single. Her first hit of the day. Now here's Kirsten with Stanley. Bottom of the order looking to produce something here. Now with Stanley has drawn a couple of walks this weekend, but looking for her first hit of the series. And she smacks this to right field, driving Espelin back, and she makes the play. Now Rutgers hits a couple balls well here in the inning, but not enough. Just the 2-out single for the Scarlet Knights. We go to in another RBI spot.
That's the first ball we've really seen hit out to right field, and you can see it kind of hit a wall of wind, and it crossed up the outfield just for a moment.
1-0. Oh, the one thing that Sands getting to seconds on what could have been just a single, what that does is she's in scoring position with Callaway at the plate.
Right, because if she doesn't stretch that to a double, she's sitting on first base right now. Because with that play right in front of her in right field, she's not even going to get to second. So it's the difference of two bases, really. Being on first base with 2 outs versus being on third base where a pass ball or a wild pitch, you got to run.
Pease deals. 3-1.
Been impressed with Pease's command today. Shows what a quality veteran pitcher she is, that she didn't let Friday's outing affect her. Came out throwing strikes from the get-go.
Pitch. That's way outside. Pease didn't have to give in to Callaway there, and she doesn't. So it's first and third, but there are 2 outs, and here's Katie Wingert.
Yeah, big spot for Winger, the catcher, batting .263. No homers, 3 RBIs. She can really jumpstart her season here with one swing.
Big spot for Wingert. Squaring to bunt. Takes it, and now the throw to second. Dowell, Sand coming home. She scored. Callaway gets tagged out, but Rutgers will take the run.
Stole a run, really, in effect.
So Minnesota ends the inning. Rutgers trying with Callaway to see if they can just take second. Minnesota ends the inning, but Rutgers very clearly happy to grab one back.
Well, Rutgers will take that trade-off, but they'll trade the out for the run there. Here's the replay.
And your goal as soon as Dowell throws to first, if you're Callaway, is to extend the run down, and she did plenty for Sand to come from third and score. So Rutgers gets 1 run on just 1 hit, Sand's double. No errors, and because of the double steal, nobody left on base. We go to the 4th. Rutgers now back within 3.
Minnesota in the top of the 4th. Right fielder, Lauren Espelin.
Start of the 4th. At top of the order for Minnesota in its 3rd time through. Jaden Vickers with the ball after coming in to relieve Ashley Hitchcock there in the 3rd inning. And her goal is to sort of replicate what Georgia Engel did yesterday. Come in the exact same spot, 7 outs into the game, and try to post some zeros.
As Minnesota leads off the 4th inning with its leadoff hitter, the dangerous Lauren Espelin.
Espelin drew a bases-loaded walk her last time. It's a 2-0 count.
Yeah, we'll see if Vickers can restore some water here. Rutgers really hasn't had a clean, quick inning in the field yet, right? I mean, every
Aside from the first.
except for the first inning, every inning has involved some drama, a base runner, a lot of pitches.
3-0 count. Yeah, Hitchcock retired the first 4 hitters she faced. And then the next hitter, Megan Dre, went yard. And that sort of started all of the scoring and all the home run hitting for the Gophers. Who's aboard for the second time today?
That's not the way, obviously, you want to start an inning with the All-American Natalie Den Hartog settling in here. Got to keep your focus and somewhere along the way find strike one.
It'll be the first time that Vickers faces Den Hartog today as she swings and misses.
Good matchup here. Speedy pitcher with a free swinger at the plate. I like this matchup.
Den Hartog has struck out and to play for the Golden Gophers, and she has now etched her name at the top of the list in the record books.
And a great job by the Minnesota coaching staff to retain one of their own. That's always such a big point here in New Jersey. Very parochial state, a much smaller state in geography, but you want to protect your own. You know, you got a gem right down the street to keep her home playing for State U. That's an impressive recruiting victory for Minnesota and paying big dividends over a 4-year career.
It is a historic home run, but in the context of the game too, John, the job that Den Hartog has done, it's Minnesota's 4th home run of the day as Evans goes down swinging, and it also extends the game out of the reach of one swing now. It gives Minnesota the 5-run lead.
Right, and now the pressure switches obviously back to Rutgers. We talk about that resiliency again. Will we see that backbone that Rutgers exhibited yesterday, now trailing by a pretty significant 7-2 margin?
Here's Sarah Kinch, who loops it over to first, and a catch is made by Kirsten Stanley for the second out of the inning.
Now we'll bring up Megan Dre with 227 batter, 4 homers, 7 RBIs. Dre out of Lynchburg, Virginia.
And Dre 2 for 2, halfway to the cycle right now with a home run and a single.
Triple's always the toughest one, right?
I would say so.
You want to get that triple done for you get the triple out of the way first. Now you can start talking cycle.
Strike one pitch. And that's on the edge of the zone, 0-2.
Good pitch there from Vickers.
And now we'll get a quick chat as Dre walks down the third baseline to talk things over with Carly Wynn, the Minnesota associate head coach.
Been impressed with this Minnesota outfit. I mean, they're a perennial contending Big Ten program. They've been to the College World Series in the last couple of years, and obviously coming off the 10-day layoff, things look bleak after the 9-2 loss on Friday. But they've impressed the last two games.
0-2. Vickers misses upstairs. We'll see if the scouting report there that Wynn gave to Dre works out. And Minnesota has been one of those class of the conference programs in the last several years.
And they take on all comers. I mean, they're just over 500, but that's largely a product of the very intense out-of-conference schedule they play.
Now swing and a miss. Vickers gets the K of Megan Dre and ends the top of the 4th. But it's a half inning to remember for Golden Gophers fans. Natalie Den Hartog jacks one to dead center field her 52nd career home run. Minnesota's all-time leader in dingers. And Den Hartog having an outstanding year. She's on All-American pace, and now she's at the top of the record books.
Leading off the bottom half of the field for your Scarlet Knights, the catcher, Katie Wingert.
Bottom four, Minnesota's offense once again coming to play with 7 runs on 6 hits. 4 of the 6 have landed on the opposite side of the fence. Plenty of run support for Autumn Pease as she goes back to the circle. And Katie Wingert, who was at the plate to end the 3rd inning, is back there. Because the last time Rutgers was up, they had Sand at 3rd, Callaway at 1st. Tried the double steal and got the run to score, but Callaway was tagged out too. So it'll be Wingert, Fawcett, and Bach as Rutgers now trails by 5.
Yeah, Rutgers, in essence, stole a run, then gave 2 back in the top half of this inning. So, in a similar position to yesterday, having to battle back, and again, can't do it all at once. It's a cliche, but one pitch at a time, one at bat at a time, and try to get some base runners and mount some offense here.
And Wingert fouls it back, 1-2. Well, you can see the impact that the long ball has. You think back to Friday, Gabby Callaway jacks the grand slam, blows the game open, Rutgers wins. Yesterday, the story was Lauren Espelin's 2 home runs, including the grand slam. And now today, 4 more dingers for the Gophers.
That was some display by Espelin, 7 RBIs. 2 swings. You walk up with 2 home runs and 7 RBIs.
Off the year, first outing of the year, 7 strikeouts, 1 run over 6 innings in a win at UCF. A couple of weeks ago, 6 scoreless in a game against Drake, just 2 hits allowed in a run rule victory. And the changeup is working today. She spotted pitches much better today. Been able to live in the zone much more frequently compared to that outing on Friday with all the walks. And she gets another swing and a miss. Breaking ball is really working for Autumn Pease. 4 strikeouts.
Yeah, she just couldn't find her release point on Friday. It looked like it. I had a little different vantage point. I was PA announcer. I was right behind the plate that night, and it just seemed like she was struggling. You know, she would be wild high outside, low inside. She just couldn't release the ball where she wanted tonight. Today she's been right on point.
Again, the goal for Rutgers has to be here. Just get base runners. And they're going to prioritize every one that they get as they'll bring in a pinch runner for Bach. That'll be Lily Oronsko who checks in.
Yeah, she's used frequently in that role.
Your attention, please.
Speedster from California.
Rutgers, number 24, Lily Orozco. Orozco pinch running.
Now here's Kirsten with Stanley. Bottom of the order looking to produce. As Minnesota offense has
Wisconsin stepping in, batting .224, 4 homers, 7 RBIs on the season.
Vickers rockets in a fastball for the 1-1 count. And 4 more walks.
It's been a clean defensive game. Errorless baseball both ways, which is impressive in these tough, cold conditions.
Error-free weekend for Minnesota.
Probably just got her big toe. And on a 40-degree windy day, that's not what you want.
Re-entering the game for Minnesota, number 18,
Wow.
Ellie Jensen.
Well, this is Ellie Jensen coming back in the game.
Yeah.
And that is a good sign.
That's what I was going to say. I probably should have said injured, but that's what we assumed on that ball in left field earlier in the game when she made that diving attempt. But like you said, a good sign that she's back on the base path, healthy as a pinch runner at first base.
Oh, it's good to see Jensen back in the game, and Hansen's day is done. She'll get some ice or some heat, perhaps, for the hit by pitch as Dowell comes to the plate. 0-2. A 1-out runner here for Minnesota. Looking for another scoring inning. We saw Rutgers rally over the final 3 innings of yesterday's game. Ironically, they scored 5 runs over those final 3 innings. Now, that's the difference right now, and Vickers trying to keep it there. As Dowell smacks this to left center field, and it's just over the fence. The Golden Gophers find another one.
Wow, that was a line drive that carried a long way. I thought it was off the wall the whole way. I wasn't even thinking home run, and it easily cleared the left center field wall. What a shot.
On a cold day, it's a frozen rope from Dowell, and it gets out, and Minnesota now has a 7-run lead. They've got 5 home runs today.
Watch this thing. Here's the replay. It just keeps carrying and carrying. I can surprise the outfielders for Rutgers as well. That got out of here in a hurry.
If you thought it was a down year for Minnesota with the record after non-conference play, no. As Chavez hits this to center, back-to-back jacks. The Golden Gophers strike gold once again.
Almost a carbon copy. Same part of the outfield. Frozen rope, as you said, and impressive offensive. Here's the replay. Impressive offensive display for the Gophers.
A Minnesota offense that has been built on the long ball, and, well, they have found those today. 6 homers, including the back-to-back from Dowell and Chavez here in the 5th inning. And now all of a sudden, it is an 8-run Minnesota lead in the 5th inning, and Rutgers goes to the bullpen. The Vickers had the 1 blemish with the Den Hartog home run until the 5th. 2 more here for the Gophers. They're in front by 8. Georgia Engel in the circle for Rutgers. Georgia Engel had a great outing yesterday for Rutgers. She comes in the circle here, but it is Minnesota's offense that has become the story. You see the numbers on Engel, 4 2/3 scoreless innings in her first Big Ten outing yesterday. She comes in here with Minnesota going yard in back-to-back at-bats. A 2-run homer for McKenna Dowell. Kayla Chavez coming through with her second career home run as well. And the Golden Gophers have clobbered 6 dingers today. They've got a home run in 4 straight innings, too.
It's been something to see. And of those 6, I don't know if you'll agree, Don, but perhaps one of them was wind-aided, that towering shot down the left field line. But those other ones, I think the other 5 were no doubt about it. So they were really good swings. And getting back to Ingles, career-long stint yesterday, and she's looking to do the same. Well, it won't be a long stint today, but she's looking to come into a similar spot, kind of stop the bleeding like she did yesterday. She did a very effective job yesterday.
And she comes into the game to face Lauren Espelin, who had the 2 big home runs yesterday. And today is just 0 for 1, but a pair of walks, as you see the numbers from Engel. That was Engel's first outing in 2 weeks. Hadn't pitched the weekend prior in the Rutgers softball tournament. Now, she was not rusty, not phased by the competition, and in a situation where when she started the outing, Rutgers was down 11-1. She did exactly what you want to do. Throw strikes, get outs.
Gave Rutgers a chance, and the Scarlet Knights showed good bounce back form, cut it to all the way to 11-7 before falling short by that final count.
And misses that out of the zone, 3-0. So the home run tally for Minnesota is 6 homers from 6 different players, too, which makes it all the more impressive. Dan Hartog, Kinch, Dre, Strelo, Dowell, and Chavez.
Well, we said that. They've got power throughout the lineup. Only one starter in the batting order today, entering today, did not have a home run, and that's Jensen. Everybody else has at least one home run to her credit on the season, so it's a dangerous Gopher ball club.
And now on a day with all the big flies, here's the player who contributed the biggest of them all, Natalie Den Hartog. A home run that will make the rounds in Minnesota, no doubt. A former All-State center fielder, shortstop, I believe, too, at Hopkins High School. Now Minnesota softball's all-time home run leader. As she smacks another one, but here comes Kobe Hura charging in as she makes the catch. There's 2 away. Now, worth mentioning, by the way, for Den Hartog, she passes Jordan Nygren, who was the previous leader. Nygren sure did their true freshman year in 2020. You have the COVID year, you get 5 full years, anything's possible.
Ask Gio Baker. Ask Gio Baker, who, not taking anything away from him, the terrific Rutgers basketball guard, but 5 full seasons and you're a productive player, 5-year starter, you're gonna amass some numbers. You're gonna accumulate some numbers, put it that way.
Yeah, and it is worth mentioning, Natalie Den Hartog is a true senior this year. She's already said that she's going to come back for next year to play. So she'll come back as a 5th-year senior. She's at 52 now, and roughly the halfway point of the year, maybe a little past the halfway point. This is a Minnesota team that has gone to the NCAA tournament 8 straight years.
She's got a chance. I mean, she's
in a 4-year career, probably not.
Right.
You get the 5th year, it's possible. And that's going to be true for record books across the country.
Well, if I'm one of those veteran players that amass those numbers in a true 4-season career, and you see these young people, because of COVID, getting that extra year. We talked about this a little bit last year, I think, on the air. I mean, as the sports information people, you don't want to discredit the current player, but you got to put an asterisk. At some point, you got to at least mention how many games the person has played. My God.
We're going to start looking at home runs per game as the true
Right.
mark of
Right.
all-time home run leaders. 8 and 9 in the order, getting in the act. The Golden Gophers will look to close it out and wrap up a series victory next here on Big Ten Plus. Long, the arduous schedule, they have shown that they are battle-tested and they have bounced back. And Autumn Pease, who had the rough day Friday, is now looking for a 5-game complete game win. She's looked sharp today, that's for sure. Her offense has been that as well. And she'll face 8, 9, and 1 from the Scarlet Knights, looking to wrap things up. Kobe Hurrah, Taylor Lane, Kylie Sand due up. Hurrah, the one who contributed the game-extending home run yesterday. That's what Rutgers is going to do now.
Since dropping the opener 9-2, Minnesota has outscored Rutgers a combined 21-9 over the last 2 games, and they're really flexing their muscles this afternoon.
As this one smacked to left, Evans looks it go. Wow, Kobe Hurrah does it again. The game ain't done yet. Kobe Hurrah comes through for another. That's athletic stuff, and she made it look easy too.
Let me tell you, it's not easy in cold weather, all that gear you're wearing. To get up and out of that crouch and extend like that. That was an impressive play.
Sand showing bunt there, but takes to make it a 1-1 count. By the way, some more defensive changes for Minnesota. I looked up on the Hurrah home run and said, wait a sec, that's not Chloe Evans in left field. It's Allie Lindner who is in left. Chloe Evans is back in right. Lindner checked back into the lineup for Ellie Jensen. And now the count is a ball and 2 strikes against Kylie Sand, who has continued her hot hitting this weekend. A single and a double with 2 runs scored. 2 of the 3 for Rutgers. And fouls it off.
What Minnesota was hoping obviously for a 1-2-3 inning and get on that warm bus, get on that warm plane. Instead, we're going to play more softball.
Pitch. Sand bunts, but got under it. And Pease tracks it in. A bunting there with 2 strikes. When you've got the speed that Kylie Sand has, you can do that. Big Ten stolen base leader, but has not stolen a base this weekend. Tried once, left early. She has shown her speed in other ways, like what we saw with a single that was turned into a double back in the 3rd inning. As Peyton Linkavage pops it on the infield, and Strelo plays it, the inning is over. But Rutgers scores the run that it needed to keep the game alive here in the 5th inning, and it is the same player to contribute it. Kobe Hurrah going deep to left field. So we go to the 6th. Minnesota with the advantage in the ballgame.
Leading off the top of the sixth inning for Minnesota.
In less games than Big did, so
Trey.
you could also have that situation where
Start of the sixth inning, Minnesota with a 7-run lead. Georgia Engel in the circle, and, well, the ball game's still alive. Your goal here for Engel is just give the bats a chance. They have fight and a little bit more than we saw yesterday, than those 5 runs in the last 3 innings. They have a little bit more than that today, as Rutgers tries to work the big rally. Well, Engel will face 5, 6, and 7. Megan Dre, Sydney Strelo, and then it's Allie Lindner due up. Dre grounds it over to short. That's where Kylie Sand is stationed. It's 1 gone.
1 batter, 1 out. And now we see the second baseman, number 2, Sydney Strelo, stepping to the plate, 224 hitter, 4 homers, 10 RBIs on the season. Strelo, the number 6 batter in the Golden Gophers lineup. Face going to be on Minnesota with softball's Mount Rushmore's Natalie Den Hartog.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she is an impressive player. Big treat for Rutgers fans to see her in person. She is not disappointed.
There's a strike from Engel. It's 2-1. And frankly, I think what Minnesota has done this weekend is even more remarkable. She's had a hit in every game, but the other 2 games where she had the doubles, didn't drive in a run. She didn't score either time as well. It's been some of her
Particularly
teammates.
cold conditions here in the Northeast.
Full count pitch. And it's swung, it's tipped. Thought it may have hit off of Lindner. Throw to first is not going to be in time.
It sounded like it was off her foot. Is that
It hit something, because you could hear the carom as Lindner hit it straight down, and it booted out towards the circle. But Lindner, with her speed, able to beat out the throw from Engel. There's 2 on here for Minnesota.
And that brings up the shortstop, McKenna Dowell, the Auburn transfer.
Now there's a look at Lindner's speed down the line.
Maybe it caught
It hit something.
the corner of the plate. I don't know. It had a weird sound to it, too.
And Wingert and Engel, Rutgers infielders who had even better looks than we would have, didn't react to it. No, it just hit right in front of the plate. Made a weird sound.
Yeah.
Now we are stationed, what, 15 feet behind the plate. It made that sound that it would if it hits the plate or a foot or something. Now look at a pinch runner here. It's over at second base.
And Mackenzie Denson.
Yep.
Sophomore from Mansfield, Texas, coming on a pinch run.
So Denson running for Sydney Strelo as McKenna Dowell comes to the plate.
Dowell has one of those line drive home runs today, right? Yeah, I remember her shot. put a good swing on a ball a couple innings back.
And we talked about how the game has changed in the last 20 years or so. With the fact that Minnesota's previous all-time home run leader is no longer even top 10 in Big Ten history in that category after breaking the Big Ten record during her playing career. How about, the idea of sabermetrics and StatCast and stuff like that? To think about the idea of the difference in launch angle from a home run like the one that McKenna Dowell hit, which barely got off the ground to left center, and then one like Sarah Kinch hit back in the Rutgers offense showed you in the last half inning it's not done. Engler trying to keep it here as Callaway is forced all the way back to the wall. Denson trying to tag, and she does.
Shows her speed. That's why you put a pitch runner in there, gain an extra base. Now she's just one base away, where a wild pitch or a pass ball would stake Minnesota to an 8-run lead.
And if you're wondering what the value is of putting in a pinch runner in a 7-run game, Denson just showed you.
Here's the number 9 hitter, Kaylee Chavez, 269, 1 homer, 7 RBIs on the year.
Nice job there by Denson hanging onto the bag. Almost overslid it. Chavez swings, pops it up, right to it Stanley, who's forced to drift to the circle. Every fly ball an adventure on this windy Sunday. And that ends a scoreless inning for Georgia Engel.
Leading off the bottom of the 6th for Rutgers, the left fielder, Gabrielle.
All bundled up on this Sunday afternoon. These parents and family members and fans out there in center fields earning their brownie points today, John. They're all bundled up.
As are we.
Blankets, hats, gloves. If you came in shorts, good luck. Bottom 6 here at the Rutgers softball complex in this series finale between Minnesota and Rutgers. Gabrielle Callaway leading things off with Katie Wingert and Taylor Fawcett to follow. Now Rutgers won on Friday 9-2, the Scarlet Knights' first ever win over Minnesota in their 13th try. Minnesota rallied back yesterday for an 11-7 win. And today, the story once again, Minnesota's home run prowess. 6 home runs today, including Natalie Den Hartog's program record-breaking 52nd career dinger.
Of course, at the outset, I predicted a 2-1 pitcher's duel in this frigid Sunday afternoon. Of course, as soon as I said that,